to start this game off, this is the Canes game review for game number 62 of the season. We're going to just quickly wrap up the game portion so we can talk about the trade deadline, which I think is obviously important. It's now the morning of the trade deadline, and we do have to get into a lot here. So quickly wrapping up the game, Anderson in the net versus Alexander Georgiev at the other end for the Rangers. Tony DeAngelo back into the lineup. Carolina running 11 forwards, 7D in this one. That is, of course, as a result of the Nino Niederreiter suspension for the slash to the helmet of Axel Janssen-Feilby of the Caps in the last game. And, of course, we are less than 24 hours at this time of the game away from the trade deadline. And the basis of the whole game is Carolina dominated. They dominated 3 periods. They controlled the majority of possession. They controlled the majority of time in any zone. They got the most grade A chances. Their deserve to win a meter from Puckpedia was like 91.8% or something stupid like that. And they lost this game. They had lots of chances. They played one of their most complete efforts of the season, and it was not enough. So Kreider gets the game-winning goal on a deflection on, I believe it was the 8th shot of the game for New York. Vetrano with an empty net goal, his first as a Ranger to end the game, and the shots at the end of the game are 44-17 for Carolina. And it was very easy to see that the sentiment, the mood coming around this game from Twitter, from Canes fans was much, much different than from any of the players, any of the coaching staff, namely Rod Brendamore, who thought the effort was good, but didn't want to get into the specifics of what's really next. And what's next is the trade deadline, and let's go over that a little bit for Carolina here, because I think after that game you have to start considering moves. This is the best team I've only been a Canes fan for 3 seasons, and there's obviously Canes fans that I interact with on Twitter, and there's so many that have been around so much longer. They've been there since 06 or even before that, or into the 90s when the team arrived in Raleigh. And this might be the best team that we've ever seen collectively. I've seen in my short time here, this might be the best team, and they are a fantastic hockey team. They're over 40 wins already on the season. They're on pace for 54, 55 wins, which may or may not set a franchise record. But the issue is this team does not trade for rentals, and that's okay. But when every team and championship teams constantly make moves at the deadline to add to bolster to their lineup, and look who's doing it again, the Tampa Bay Lightning. When you sit idle by, it sends a bad message to the fan base that you just don't think this team's good enough. While that may or may not be true, it also sends that message to the players. And with an off-season coming up that is going to be pretty tumultuous, with the likelihood of Vincent Trocheck being out the door as a key member of the team, this is a deadline you might need to take advantage of. You might have a very different looking and playing team next season, and for the team right now, you do have to try and push that to the next level and get something going there. I had this thread on Twitter last night before the end of the game, and last year I think I talked similarly about this team, and the way the playoffs shaped up was not good. The Nashville Predators really took it to Carolina in the first round and nearly defeated them. Carolina wins it in 6, but by the time they got through that series, and with the injuries that were already there, they were toast to play Tampa. So taking a look at some of the teams that have won the Stanley Cup in the last 5 years and taking a look at their additions. Tampa in 2021, they added David Savard to their lineup. That was a guy who 8 minutes on the right side for a team that, likes a shutdown right side with a play-driving left side. In 2020, Tampa added Barclay Goodrow and Blake Coleman. In 2019, St. Louis added Michael Del Zotto, but this one's a bit of an outlier because I'm not even sure St. Louis at the time of the deadline was in the playoff race. or they were just outside of it at that point because they were not at the beginning of the new year. 2018, Washington added some depth with Yarabek and Michael Kempney, who was a pivotal defender for them in the playoff run. And in 2017, the Penguins added Frank Corrado, Mark Streit, and Ron Hainsey to their defense. So all this is to say, the teams that win the Stanley Cup traditionally add the deadline. And we're looking at a team here who may sit idle and not do anything. Now, I don't want the Canes to go and start firing picks and prospects into the sun just for a rental. That's not how I think any of it should go. But I think there is a secondary market of guys who have term, guys who are not being called about in this league right now. I personally taken a look at some of the list. I've got, like, out of LA, I'm not sure what his value would be, but, like, a guy like Blake Lizotte is an excellent depth addition you could add. I thought Nick Paul would fit in pretty well. Alex O'Hari on Twitter has at Future Canes has talked about Nemesnikov extensively. I think that is a fantastic add to the bottom six. There needs to be more scoring because in a weird way, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Carolina Hurricanes, who will be forever tethered together by that David Ayres game, they're not too dissimilar in how their teams are. If the big guys aren't scoring, it's usually a struggle. I'm going to wrap the video here. This is obviously a pretty disappointing loss from a good effort, but really we got to wait and see what happens with the team today. And this is starting off, this is kicking off. There's already been a few trades overnight from teams around the league. I think Pittsburgh picked up Nathan Beaulieu. We got Mason Appleton heading back to Winnipeg, Scott Wedgwood to Dallas. There's trades happening, and we got to wait and see what the Canes do. So as always, if you watch the video, thank you very, very much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to the channel. And as always, guys, I will catch you on the next one.